got 6:30. I think we'll call the meeting to order. We're going to start with the pledge to the flag. It's located right on the right of the stage. Make note of roll call, Shelley, that everybody's here. And then we'll move down to the approval of the agenda. We'll move down then to the approval of the agenda. Is there any additions to tonight's agenda? Barring none, then we'll approve the agenda by consent. And we're going to move on down into our new business. What I'll do before we start in our new business is I'm going to do a little introduction here. And I'd like to welcome and thank everybody for coming tonight for this very special meeting. The purpose of this meeting is to allow the Township Board of Pere Marquette an opportunity to hear the public's voices regarding the Father Marquette Memorial in PM Township. This is a sensitive issue to which many people feel very strongly. And having said that, I would encourage everyone who speaks tonight to be respectful in their words and reactions to those who may speak in opposition of their beliefs. We all want this to be an informative, productive meeting. Before we start receiving public comment this evening, I'd like to introduce Crystal Bolche and her firm Dickinson Wright, who represent Pere Marquette Charter Township. She is going to give us a quick overview of the Father Marquette Memorial situation and provide everyone with some background information. So I'll hand it over to you, Crystal.
Hello, everybody.
Ooh.
I got the good mic. My name is Crystal Bolche, and I am with the law firm of Dickinson Wright, and like Paul said, my firm represents this township. Tonight, we are here to hear your voices, but the Township Board asked me to come and give a little bit of context and some history, and everybody's favorite part, the rules. So, most of you already probably know that the township essentially inherited the cross, which is part of the Father Marquette Memorial, about 30 years ago from the city of Ludington. It was originally donated from the Butters family. Any of you who have been out to the memorial in the last couple of years has noticed it has seen better days. So, a couple of years ago, the township started saving up money to pay for a restoration project, which was approved in 2017. And that's essentially what started this controversy. After the board approved the restoration project, it received a letter, which has been followed by several other letters from individuals and groups that are questioning the township's ability to maintain the cross on public land and to pay for it with public funds. So the township is at a bit of a crossroads, and there's a legal framework that courts use to determine whether public land use is lawful. So without boring all of you with all my law school, constitutional law jargon, I do want to tell you just a little bit about what the Township Board is looking at. Essentially, although the law is not as clear as we would like it to be, there is one test that courts looking at things like this apply, and that is what is called the Lemon Test. The Lemon Test essentially asks three things in order for a government display to be constitutional. First, it has to have a secular purpose. Second, it can't inhibit or advance religion. And third, it can't create excessive entanglement with religion. So that's really the test that the board is looking at. And I'll tell you, the township was warned to not have this public hearing tonight for a couple of reasons. Sometimes when we have public hearings like this, it somehow gives the impression that this is a popularity contest, or that the side with the loudest voices is going to win. Let me be entirely clear, and I'm the lawyer, so I get to be the bad guy. That's not how it is. The Township Board is going to look at the legality of the situation, it's going to look at its options, and it's going to make the best determination it can from there. That said, you have a board that believes in transparent governance, and they felt very strongly about having this public hearing tonight to give you a chance to come out and share your concerns, your voice, your thoughts. But before we can get into that, of course, everybody's favorite part, the rules. Crickets already. Okay, first and foremost, there are a lot of people here, and we want to hear from you, but we also don't want to be here until 2 o'clock in the morning. So we are going to limit comments to 3 minutes. When you have 30 seconds left, you will get a warning from me, exactly like this. Start wrapping up at your 30 seconds so that you can be finished with your 3 minutes. When you come to speak, you are addressing the board. You're not addressing other groups. You're not addressing people in the audience. You aren't even really addressing me. You are addressing the board, and identify all of your comments that way. If you want to speak, we do ask that you sign in, and I believe sign-in sheets are floating around. The people with the sign-up sheets, can you hold your hands up, please? Oh, they're right in the podiums. Okay, so you're gonna sign in, and then you're gonna walk up to the podium. You're gonna state your name, your address. You're gonna let us know if you live in the township and if you are speaking on behalf of anyone other than yourself. Which brings me to my next point. There are so many of you. We ask that if you came with a group, identify a spokesperson. Let your spokesperson speak for all of you if you're going to have similar comments. Similarly, if you hear a comment that you particularly like and you want to get up and you want to show support of that, you don't need to get up and repeat the entire comment. We heard it. But you can still let us know your name, your information, and that you support the comment of so-and-so. Now, of course, the other hand is that you might hear things tonight that you don't like. And that's okay. This is public comment. Everyone is here to share their opinions. But we do ask that you keep your opinions to yourself unless it's your time to talk. No cheering, no booing. We want to hear everybody, and we don't want the time taken up with things like that. And if anybody can't handle those rules, we'll have you escorted out. No, I'm kidding. I mean, maybe we will, so let's not get there. And I think those are all of my rules. Paul, anything else? Okay, so then we will begin what we hope and expect to be a very peaceful public hearing.
I think what we'll do, we can rotate back and forth on the podiums depending on how many people get in line. It would be handy if we had 2 or 3 people at least in the line just so we can keep things moving. And again, we'll bounce back and forth between the front and the back. We can start again. It's 3 minutes, and we're opening it up to public comment at this time for anybody that'd like to come up and start.
There are some other people that signed in first. Should they speak first? My name is Phil DeVries. I'm a township resident at 5831 Riverview Drive. I'm speaking to the fact that I don't believe this has much of any merit. I don't know if the ones who are objecting or actually have standing to take this to federal court. I do know there are a lot of groups out there that like to write letters and like to cause problems. Contrary to what was read in the paper, they do not usually win. It's important that people understand that there is such a thing as an establishment clause. The cross was not established originally by anybody but the Indians, and then by a trapper, and then by people that wanted to build a permanent memorial. And it stands as a memorial to the person whose name is borne by this township. If people are worried about legal cost, there are groups out there that would defend this at no cost to the township. If the township wants to take the responsibility of defending this, they should look to people who are admitted to practice before the federal court, because this will be a federal court case. And I don't know if you are admitted to the court or not. That's really about all I had to say, though I don't believe there's any merit to threaten a lawsuit. Thank you.
We'll move to the back.
Yeah, I'm Leo Yenner. I'm a resident of the area for 80 years, raised in the 4th Ward, directly across the lake.